Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Luening, Horst Luening. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today I present the content of my bar, to February 2017. There's an old video online from summer 2015. I'll put you the link here, where I showed the content of my bar from 2015. Well, something has changed, a lot has changed, but there are still some old bottles there, and very often people say, well, if you store these open bottles for such a long time, you will have some oxidization taking place. Well, oxidization is a thing, is important, but not for old whiskies, more for younger ones, which still contain unoxidized compounds, and for the smoky ones. So with the age, the smokiness reduces and a lot of more complex aromas develop. And so the changes in smoky whiskey is higher than in unpeated whiskies. And the youngers will oxidize faster than the older ones. Well, from time to time, they have more than 40 years of oxidization inside the cask behind. And well, that's it. Oxidization is already there in those old bottles. You don't have to have a fear storing bottles with a lot of air on top of the liquid for a longer time, as long as they are old bottles. If you remember the old video, then there is still only one bourbon in my bar. And it's nearly as full as then. It's the Baker's 7 years old, 107 proof. A wonderful whiskey, one of the very, very best of the bourbons. And, but among my friends and relatives, bourbon does not have the best reputation, and therefore people do not ask for whiskey in my bar often. Let's say I'm consuming here in front of the camera approximately 2.5 liters pure alcohol per year. Ooh, is that much? Is that not that much? Well, if you consume half a liter or pint of beer every day, then you typically have an intake of around 10 liters of pure alcohol a year. Well, just one bottle of beer. I'm not drinking beer at all, so I avoid that alcohol intake. I have to be careful because in our industry there are people who suffer from addiction to alcohol, and I had a look at my genes. I'm not in the risk group, so I'm happy about that, but I be careful not to overstress my liver, and I have a plan not to consume more than the average consumer in the Western world, and that's 10 liters pure alcohol per year. And with my whiskey in front of the camera, I'm approximately at 2.5, and there are 7.5 left, and very few of that comes from whiskey. Sometimes there's a red wine asking or looking for me, or I'm looking for the red wine. So my consumption of whiskey, not in front of this camera, is quite low. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. But if I'm consuming whiskey, not in front of the camera, I will just have whiskey which is excellent in my personal point of view. There's one exception among those bottles. Well, I will tell you. So for myself, I'm not that not a friend or that a friend of bourbon. Ben is much more interested in bourbon, but not me. No. So this bottle stays full, and if I'm taking the next video in the upcoming years, I think there will be still some whiskey left. Well, the newest, or one of the newest bottles in my bar is the Glen Moray 15, which I tasted in January 2017. Now we are right first half of February 2017, and this is a Glen Moray, 15 years old, finished in Spanish sherry casks. A wonderful piece of work and affordable for 15 years of age. Today, this is quite rare to have a bottle below 50 euros, pounds, dollars with 15 years of age. So prices have risen a lot for those matured whiskey with an age statement. And this is one of the very few coming up which are really good and show an age statement on it. So this one goes into my bar. And the second one I tasted in January is the Glenfiddich, 21 years old, Caribbean rum finished. And rum is not my favorite spirit, no, not at all, it's whiskey. And finishing a whiskey in rum casks makes a whiskey, from my personal point of view, not better. Because the taste of rum is added to the whiskey. But a lot of people like rum a lot. And Glenfiddich is a important it was for decades the most often sold single malt whiskey in the world. And well, these very, very good and known name is the reason why I put this bottle here in my bar, that my friends have something really, really special to taste. Yeah, therefore I took this bottle aside. And then there are some older ones. The first is a Longman, vintage 1964. And this is 100% matured in sherry casks. It's uncolored from Gordon MacPhail. This is a really mature whiskey, a lot of oak influence, so that the distillery character of Longman is nearly gone. 80%, 90% of this whiskey is cask, or cask and sherry. So this one is difficult for the novice user or connoisseur because of the extreme oakiness this whiskey has. Yeah, it's also very, very expensive, and because this bottle is old now, I got it cheaper. Yeah, so the Longman, and I'm not sure if it's still available. And this one is a Glen Grant, even older, 1962, and this bottle leaked, and then it was mine. And it's also first fill sherry cask for 46 years, bottled in 2008. And I have no fear seeing this whiskey resting in the bottle with such amount of air on it, and open it from not month to month, quarter to quarter year, because it's already oxidized in the warehouses of Glen Grant. This whiskey is a lot more oakier, has a lot more oak and shows bitterness. So this is extreme, and as with the Longman, as I said, you can't find the distillery character in this whiskey because 80% is cask and sherry. Yeah, this is one of my very, very favorite. It's an 18-year-old Macallan, vintage 1996, and this is one of the old bottles which were distributed before the big shortage at Macallan started. So this is really 18 years old, uncolored, wonderful piece of work. Today, these bottles cost around short to 400. So it's really expensive, and most of it is collector's item. But there are still some connoisseur collectors which bring those bottles to their final destination. So the prices of the residual bottles at the collectors rise and rise. So this is really, really good. And this bottle I had already in 2015, here on my cask. For the presentation it was a little bit more in it. I'm very careful having a dram of this because it's difficult to get a replacement of that bottle. The next one, Macallan Ruby, wasn't that difficult to get, and it was a lot cheaper, but unfortunately it does not carry an age statement. The whiskey is older, yes, you can taste it, and you can see it at the color. It's first fill sherry cask as well, and it's smoother. No, not smoother. It's not that complicated, not that edges as the 18 years has, and this whiskey contains younger whiskies as well, so that it is more complex and more savoring, more sipping. You can see the bottle is close to being empty, and my friends like it very much, so they prefer this one to the other 18 years old. Unfortunately, I think this Ruby was discontinued as well in 2016. Yeah, so even the old part from this whiskey is getting rare. Macallan started its second still house, which was mothballed in long ago, and was restarted in operation, I think, in 2008 or 2009. So they produce for 7-8 years now with a second still house, and the new distillery is being built. Macallan sells from record to record, and therefore the whiskey isn't there. Everybody says, no, this range of whiskies without an age statement on it, this will kill the name of Macallan. Nobody will buy any longer. No, they sell more and more. Revenues are going up, profits are going up. Those whiskies are really expensive. So Macallan does the best for the name they're able to do. Well, they are owned by the Eddington Group, and the Eddington Group is part of the Robertson Trust, I think, and they are a charity trust and giving out grants for students, I think. So if you buy a really expensive bottle of Macallan, you're doing a good work. Yeah, I like that very much. And then there's the very last one over here. It's the Black Bowmore. I opened for my 1000th video, not in English, and I think the 100th video I took in English was this one. So it's on the net, and this is the Black Bowmore from 1964, when the proprietors of Bowmore changed, and they started well into the crisis with filling sherry casks and lay them down for maturation for an incredible long time. And this Black Bowmore, I think, was the last edition, or close to the last. The trilogy, 42 years old, bottled in 2007. And well, there had been predecessors which came out on the market in 1994 and 1995 with a more, well, rustical appearance, not this hard wood box, but soft wood box. And yeah, and those first Black Bowmores sold for roughly 3,000 euros then. This one was even more expensive. I think they ask for the last closed bottles 4,000 something. The bottle is still more than half full. Yeah, it's half full. Well, this bottle had some appearance last year because we had a lot to celebrate, and yeah. So the last dram I took was when I got the world record in full electric drive over 24 hours with 2,424 kilometers without changing batteries, but with charging batteries. In 24 hours, it's 1,540 miles of electric drive in 24 hours, including recharge. So this is a world record, and the last time I had a dram of this was to this world record. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. As always, there's more to come, and feel free to give your comments to this video, and please share and give me your thumbs up. Thank you for your visit.